So going through offense now and finishes from the shoulder crunch position. Okay, so however we've done it, we've made our opponent post their hand. Okay, often collecting the shoulder and the head together like this. Right. Sometimes that might be just the shoulder we're on. Okay. Occasionally we might be a bit further down on the arm already. Okay. So regardless of which of those we've got, I'm going to want to try to hip out and get this. I want to get my hips out to my left, get the elbow higher than the shoulder. Okay. Start to stretch, sit up, step, right, and get my grips towards the shoulder. From here, I can start to slide back for the cutting armbar. So with my foot, one foot or potentially both feet, keeping my opponent stretched out and away, and on this side of me, I can start working into the cutting armbar. I'm going to start from on the shoulder here, very tight with my elbow, dropping down, other elbow catching the back of the shoulder, and locking down tight. Pretty much the whole time I want to keep the elbow higher than the shoulder as I start to slide back. Now when you go for the cutting armbar, probably the biggest mistake you'll see here is people go with their elbow. Okay, it's not wrong. You can finish a cutting armbar with the elbow. All right, and I'll talk about sometimes you have to do this. Right, sometimes this is essential, but ideally what happens is I slide my elbow down a little bit, so I've got the blade of my forearm near the wrist on top of the arm here. Now I can start to slide that back, right? Cutting in, not straight back, but a little bit on the inside, because I'm quite worried about Jacob turning his arm and slipping the elbow. That's the most common way they escape, okay? So as I go back here, if I bring my arm a little bit on the inside, so I start dropping my left elbow by my side, and I start to crunch here. Can you turn your elbow inside now? No. Okay, he can't turn his elbow. If I was here with my elbow open, he might have a chance to turn that arm out, and then you slip that arm. Yeah, he frees it. Okay, so we're going from stretching our opponent out, okay, rolling out the blade of our forearm across. When you do this, don't keep too much tension, because you'll actually drag them there. Like if I go like this, turn your arm out with me, I might actually help him open the arm. I want to keep pressure with my shoulder and my right arm, as my left arm's a little bit looser, not dragging his shoulder under, because I want to keep that internal rotation of his shoulder as I come in. Okay, so I can slide now both structures down onto the elbow. Right, there should be a big gap, and I want to get the wrist right on the bone. Okay, so basically gone just one section down. I've had my arms connected at the shoulder, my shoulder at the elbow. I want to move one section down so that I'm on the wrist and the elbow here. And when I crunch, not straight down, don't open your elbow, but pull a little more towards you this way. Okay, so I'm not trying to straighten the arm directly down. I'm pulling a little more towards me in this direction than straight down, opposing the elbow. Okay, so we're going more like this, and we can get the finish. Now, there will be some reasonably common, as you go to do this, your opponent starts to turn their elbow out. Sorry, he starts to free it. Okay, yes. Okay. Now, if you recognize this, you don't have much control to prevent that with your wrist now. Okay, so if I've gone to do this and he started to free it, this is where I have to bring my elbow in. Okay, and I'm too late now. Okay, but if I notice that, I'm going to change to this. Okay, because I can actually affect some ability to rotate the arm. Right, so the elbow is like the secondary grip I use. It's less likely to finish than if I was able to control it and finish here, but it's potentially an essential thing we have to do as they start to free and turn their elbow. Yep, the only way I can stop that is if I turn my elbow and I start turning my whole body as well. All I'm trying to do is get his arm turned again. So looking from this side, this one, as he starts to free his elbow, will be finished. You can see that rolls his elbow back over, and now I can crunch down here to finish. Very common, they will roll out. Just scoot back a bit. When they roll out, I actually often don't follow. I let them roll into an armbar. So I've got if I stay on this and Jacob rolls, I can try to roll with him, but I actually am going to find it really hard to prone armbar. And now I'm in an awkward spot to finish anything. If instead I notice Jacob rolls, I just stay where I am and I pull his elbow into my hips. Okay, now I've got the regular armbar. So So looking at that again, if I happen to have to twist and use my elbow, I turn to face down a bit, and I want to actually take my right leg back too, okay? Because if this stays here and he rolls on top of that leg, my leg gets stuck. I don't have an armbar. Okay, go back. By retracting this leg, I can still finish the arm, but if he rolls through, you'll see this knee lands right in front of the shoulder. Go for it. My knee's in place. I can swing over the top. I'm hugging. So if he wants to pull his elbow free, I've still got this, and go back. I've still got this, and the rotation I'm applying lets me dig underneath the elbow a bit. So free your arm. Okay. Kind of difficult. I've like pinched in here, and I've like almost like hooked and cupped underneath. So I'm almost doing this. Okay, so free your elbow now. I'm doing that with my shoulder and my arm. All right. While I get my leg in. Then my leg comes in and it stops that elbow freeing. Okay, now I can look to finish. So one thing, if you can do this, like often your opponent's driving at you, they're trying to flatten you out, is you want to try to kick their base out and try and take their legs out like this, okay, and keep them there. This is, if you can do that and get yourself back to sit up, right, then it's really hard for him to roll out of this. He's kind of stuck. You can get like an excellent prone armbar, which is very hard to defend, okay. So if you can do this, this is good. Definitely you can set it up, you know, with the feet on the hips here and working from there. But if you manage to see a chance to kick them out, all right, get them flat like this is best case scenario. So in summary, we had 3 finishes to the prone armbar. We worked to get up and keep our opponent on their side. Ideally, I can start to take my forearm back, cut in a little bit on the side of the elbow as I slide back to the wrist and chop down to finish here. If, as I'm doing this, he's managing to free his elbow, I'm gonna have to rotate over, okay? I might be able to finish here, all right? In the meantime, I'm starting to bring my knee back and in front in case he wants to roll. Because if he rolls, I wanna land in a regular armbar and finish there.